Hello, and welcome to Shane's Microscope. I'm Shane, and this is my microscope. Let's take a peek. Today's sample is a coffee filter. You can think of this as a continuation of the series on paper. I was actually interested in trying to filter some microbes, so I figured it made sense to check out the thing I might be filtering them with. And while I was here, I may as well investigate some tea bags as well. Let's check them out. Now under the microscope, we can see that this coffee filter has a lot in common with the delicate task wiper that we had looked at in the episode on specialty paper fibers. We can also see that there seems to be quite a variation in fiber density. And I suspect that makes it less good as a filter, but it might still be good enough. Clearly it's good enough for making coffee. And my main motivation here is to be able to take water that's low in microbe concentration and be able to pour a large volume of water through that to end up with a small volume of highly concentrated microbes. Oh, looks like we can see those things that I suspect may be cell nuclei. That tells us this is definitely a natural fiber. Some places you can't see anything through, don't mind the bubbles, and other places you can see right through the entire weave without any intervening fibers. So it's definitely not possible, despite what you might read online, to give a concise pore size. You can see this pore is about 0.1 millimeters in diameter. Some are just a minuscule fraction of that, and some are much larger than that. So quite a range. Yeah, some more of those things, I think, are nuclei, or shriveled up cell contents of some sort. Alright, now let's look at a tea bag. This is a standard paper tea bag, what you find in a lot of mass manufactured tea. And we can see that this looks a lot like the coffee filter. Seems to be a bit more, though definitely not completely uniform. Looks like there's maybe even 2 layers to it. There's those little dots again. This seems to be thicker than the coffee filter, with smaller and somewhat more regular holes in it. I suspect this may be the better filter. So now let's check out one of those fancy tea bags. This is the sort of tea bag you might see on a more expensive tea. It says it's a biodegradable plastic. I wasn't able to find exactly what it was, but maybe like a polylactic acid or something. I don't know. But in any case, there's a bit of tea. This is a used tea bag. A lot of air bubbles stuck on this one. Don't mind those. But we can see that this has humongous pore sizes on it. And that works well with the more expensive teas, which tend to have larger tea leaves. They can't just use the powdered grumblings that are left over from from cutting things up. They need to definitely be more selective. But the benefit, of course, with this larger weave is that you would get a lot more water flow through there, so the tea should definitely steep more quickly. But as we could see, especially under really high magnification, this is definitely not suitable for my intended use. This might catch a rotifer or something if that rotifer is facing the right direction, but I think most of the things I'd be interested in looking at would just fly right through this bag. So the last one I wanted to look at are these sort of gauzy looking tea bags. These are for making your own at home or specialty boutique teas. And because of the gauzy look, I suspect that they're maybe cotton or something. Interestingly, even at low magnification, I can see that those ovals that I thought may have been pores on the tea bag, those are actually pressed sections. That must be where they've compressed the fibers so they don't need to use glue or anything. It's a clever solution. It actually brings to mind the tracing paper, if you remember that from the investigation into papers. And this is a very different looking fiber than any of the previous ones. It may even be synthetic. Those are pretty uniform looking. Well, I thought that was interesting to investigate all of those filters. I think aside from the really loose weave tea bag, any of these would work just fine for my filtering purposes. Obviously, the coffee filter is the cheapest option, so I think I might see if that one works first. Alright, well, I think we'll leave it there for the day. Thanks for having a look with me. Until next time, keep on peeking.